Hi, greetings, it's me, Dr. Paul Gerhardt, and this is the fourth video in my Human Resource Management video series. And this particular video is designed to talk about what human resource professionals or managers need to know about analyzing work and designing jobs. Some of the things that we're going to talk about specifically are flow analysis and how to really determine workflow as it relates to organizational structure. We'll talk about job analysis and the significance of human resource managers, job analysis, why it's important, what it is all about, and designing a job to keep people motivated. So also safety is a big consideration, and we'll talk a little bit about that too. So let's start off talking about workflow design. Now, workflow design is the process of analyzing tasks necessary for production or of a product or service. The term position really is about a set of job duties performed by a particular person, and then job, as we're going to refer to it in this video, is all about a set of related duties. So when you're developing a workflow analysis, it really falls into three different categories. Raw inputs, activities, and then outputs. Under inputs, it has to consider materials, data, information that's needed, equipment, what special equipment, facilities, and systems are needed, and then human resources, what knowledge, skills, and abilities are needed by those performing the tasks. And then you need to look specifically at the activity, what tasks are required in the production of the output, and finally the output, what product, information, or services provided, and how is that information measured. So with workflow design and an organization structure, organizations really need to take a look at the organization structure as a whole. This is about the people collaborating with each other to be as efficient and effective as possible in producing desired outputs. So you could have centralized, decentralized, functional, product, or customer. So let's talk about job analysis really quickly. Careful job analysis makes it possible to define what a person in a certain position does and what qualifications are needed for the job. Firefighters, for instance, use specific equipment to extinguish fires. It requires physical strength to do the jobs, and they must possess the ability to make decisions under pressure. So, job analysis is about the process of getting detailed information about the jobs. You've got to consider job analysis, job descriptions, and job specifications. So, with a job description, this is a list of tasks, duties, and responsibilities, otherwise known as TDRs, that a particular job entails. Some key components are the job title, brief description of the TDRs, and a list of essential duties that are detailed about the specifications of the tasks involved in carrying out each duty. So, in a job analysis, this is a list of knowledge, skills, abilities, and other characteristics, and we call those KSAOs, and that are needed to perform a particular job. So, with knowledge, this is factual or procedural information necessary for successfully performing a task. 2, skills are an individual's level of proficiency at performing a particular task. Ability is a general enduring capability that an individual possesses, and then other characteristics are job-related, licensing, certifications, and then personality traits. So that's job analysis, or job specification. So sources of job information, incumbents, so people who are currently holding that position with an organization. They can be interviewed. What do you do? What skills are required to do this job? What kind of education is needing or training? Dictionary occupational titles, or DOT, these are published by the U.S. Department of Labor. The Occupational Information Network, or the ONET, is an online job description database developed by the Labor Department. So you could do a position analysis questionnaire, and this is a standardized job analysis questionnaire. It has 194 questions about work behaviors, work conditions, and job characteristics that apply to a wide variety of jobs. Some key sections are information input, mental processes, work output, relationships with other persons, job context, and other characteristics. So the Fleischman job analysis system, this is a job analysis technique that asks subject matter experts to evaluate a job in terms of the abilities required to perform the job. Categories of abilities: written comprehension, deductive reasoning, manual dexterity, stamina, and originality are things that are measured. When you are analyzing teamwork, you look at skill differentiation, authority differentiation, and temporal or time stability. So in doing a job analysis, you have to understand how important this really is. It's considered the building block of all HRM functions. And almost every HRM program requires some type of information determined in a job analysis. Work redesign, HR planning, selection, training, performance appraisal, career planning, and job evaluation are all important in a job analysis. You need to do what's called a competency model. And if you were a project manager, you would need to have good organizational and planning skills and the ability to establish priorities on projects and schedule activities to achieve results. So you would have a proficiency rating in your competency model here: 1 being below expectations, unable to perform tasks; 2 meets expectations, understanding basic principles, performs routine tasks and reliability results, works with minimum supervision and assistance; and 3 exceeds expectations, performs complex and multiple tasks, can coach or teach and lead others. So these are examples of a competency model for you to consider. Some trends in job analysis. Organizations must analyze the jobs in the context of the organization's structure and strategy. Jobs change and evolve over time. Job descriptions need also to be flexible. Downsizing has effects on organizations and the nature of their jobs, and so expanded use of project-based organizational structure should be considered. So with job design, you have to understand the process of defining how work will be performed and what tasks will be required in that given job. In job redesign, a similar process that involves changing an existing job design. And to design jobs effectively, a person must thoroughly understand: 1, the job itself through a job analysis, and 2, its place in the units of the workflow through a workflow analysis. When you're approaching job design, you have to look for design efficiency, and like in industrial engineering. You have to look at design for mental capacity, filtering information, clear displays and instructions, and memory aids. Design for motivation, job enlargement, job enrichment, team work and flexibility, and design for safety and health or economics need to all be considered in the approach to job design. So when you're designing efficient jobs, you have to use industrial engineering, and this is the study of jobs to find the simplest way to structure work to maximize efficiency. It reduces the complexity of the work. It allows almost anyone to be trained quickly and easily to perform the job, and it's used for highly specialized and repetitive jobs. So with job design, you have to think about the job characteristic model. 1, the skill variety, and this is the extent to which a job requires a variety of skills to carry out tasks involved. 2, task identity, and this is the degree to which a job requires completing a whole piece of work from beginning to end. 3, task significance, and this is the extent to which the job has an important impact on lives on other people. Autonomy, this is the degree to which the job allows an individual to make decisions about the way work will be carried out. And then 5, feedback. This is the extent to which persons receives a clear information about performance effectiveness from the work itself. So those are the job characteristics within the job characteristics model. So when you design jobs, you have to think about what keeps people motivated. And this takes a little bit of psychology and big picture thinking. You know, you have to look at skills, and the more skills are needed, the more motivated people will be. You have to think about the piece of work when it's completed. You know, the more completion that's done, the more people will be motivated. How it impacts other people motivates people. The more impact on other people, the more motivation. How much freedom in making decisions. The more freedom, the more motivation. And then effectiveness is important. So those are a few of the top characteristics that should be built into jobs when you're designing jobs. So designing jobs, some other things that motivate people are job enlargement, you know, broadening the types of tasks performed within the job. Job extension, this is about enlarging jobs by combining several relatively simple jobs to form a job with a wider range of tasks. And then job rotation, enlarging jobs by moving employees among several different types of jobs. So job enrichment really is about empowering workers by adding more decisions making authority to jobs. When we talk about motivation, and I know I've talked about Hertzberg theory of motivation, but that must be considered. And individuals are motivated more by intrinsic aspects of work. And then work teams should be considered. You know, do people have the authority for an entire work process or a segment? And team members are motivated usually by autonomy, skill variety, and task variety. Many different companies these days, in order to maintain and attract people, they're putting alternatives to an 8-to-5 job, and they're doing things that make jobs more interesting, like flex time. For instance, IBM permits a meal break of up to 2 hours so employees can do personal tasks. Job sharing is another thing. You know, this is 2 lawyers who maybe both fathers share the job of assistant general counsel and counsel person in Timberland. Or a compressed work week, and this is all employees at a company have the option of working 10 hours per day, Monday through Thursday. So really being able to look at things that a company can do. Flex time is all about a scheduling policy in which full-time employees may choose starting and ending times within guidelines, and a work schedule that allows time for community and family interests. These kinds of things could be more motivating. Job sharing. This is a work option in which 2 part-time employees carry out tasks associated with a single job, and it enables an organization to attract and retain valuable employees who want more time to attend to school family matters. Telework is something that's becoming more popular too, and this is allowing people to work away from a centrally located office. And some of the advantages to employers include less need for office space, greater flexibility to implement for managerial, professional, and sales jobs, and difficult to set up manufacturing workers, and flexibility to employees with special needs. Ergonomics is something to consider. Nobody wants to be uncomfortable or get hurt at work, and ergonomics is the study of interface between individuals' physiology and the characteristics of physical work environment. The goal is to minimize physical strain on the workers by structuring physical work environment around the way the human body works, and redesigning work to make it more worker friendly, and this can lead to increasing efficiencies too. So ergonomics is really important. OSHA takes a four-pronged strategy. One, it issues guidelines for specific industries like nursing homes, grocery stores, and poultry processing plants. Two, they enforce violations. Three, they advise employers. And four, the National Advisory Committee on Ergonomics defines research needs. When you are designing jobs, you need to make sure that they meet mental capabilities and consider limitations. Work must be designed to reduce information processing within the job. Workers may be less likely to make mistakes or have accidents. Simpler jobs may be less motivating. People like challenge, and technology tools may be distracting employees from their primary tasks, resulting in increased mistakes and accidents. So you have to limit the amount of information and memorization that the job requires. Organizations should consider providing adequate lighting, easy to read gauges and displays, simple to operate equipment, and always having clear instructions. So these things are some of the most important things for human resource professionals and managers at all levels to consider when analyzing work and designing jobs. All right, I've given you a lot in this last 16 minutes, but I hope that you've taken something away. As always, you can go back and rewatch the video if there's something on here that you didn't quite understand. Again, all the videos kind of fit together, but hopefully you're taking something away, and I appreciate your valuable time. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope that you have a great day, because only you get to choose how you feel about it. I'm Dr. Paul.